Hello, private wealth management firms. My name is John Swiston. I'm the founder of Auxesis, a digital marketing and managed IT company that services small professional services firms. I've been doing digital marketing for about 25 years now, and I've been running Auxesis for about 6 years. And in the professional services space, we definitely have noticed something that folks keep complaining that their digital marketing doesn't work, their lead gen doesn't work, their webinars, their social doesn't work, while at the same time they do not have the fundamentals nailed. At the end of this video, I'll show you a little bit more about what I mean. Google Business Profile, an optimized listing, and great reviews and testimonials are one element of the fundamentals, but I'll show you the landscape and some of our research. And what we've identified is that especially in the private wealth management space, and especially with other types of RIAs, with the SEC's strict marketing rules, this effect has been even worse. And the opportunity, therefore, is even greater for those firms who do modernize and get right up to the baseline of what the SEC allows for. So soliciting reviews is completely allowed under the new SEC marketing rule, but there are some caveats. So in this overview, I'm going to go through how to use this guide, the tools on it, how it all works. I'm going to sit and spend a little bit of time talking about compliance. Disclosure, this is not a compliance guide per se, and as always, we recommend that you consult with your legal counsel to be assured of compliance or your own internal compliance teams. And then I'll talk about next steps, the bigger picture, and more advanced strategies, along with some other things that we have going on at Auxesis. So, first things first, how do we use this guide? Well, you can bookmark this guide and you can come back to it in your browser, on your mobile device, or on your desktop. Or if you'd like a PDF, or if you'd like to print it and share it with the team, you can click download. You can simply share the link to this guide with your team if you like. If you would like to navigate this guide, you will see here on the right side, there is a sticky, it'll stay there, table of contents, so you'll be able to navigate back and forth between all the sections. And it's a little bit tricky. I'll show you on mobile here really quickly. That sticky guide is right here at the bottom right. So if you click there, it'll pop up. So that is generally how to use the guide. And if you scroll through the guide, you'll generally find everything that you need to know. So read a little bit more. This intro section is all about how to use the guide, a little bit of the benefits, and every firm is going to find themselves at a different stage with regards to their Google Business Profile. Some of them don't even have it claimed or don't even have one at all. Many firms, it's automatically created for them. Some it's not. And other firms already have it claimed, but everybody on the firm is like, how do we control this thing? How do we manage it? So follow these directions here, and they'll help link you right to the step of the guide that you need to know. And so you can jump to that guide right here, your 12-step guide. So it's the fourth section in this guide. Next, compliance overview and disclaimer. As I mentioned, this is not a compliance guide per se, and there's no way that we can include everything that you need to understand in this guide. There's FINRA regulations, there's the regulation of local jurisdictions, there's going to be your own internal compliance, governance controls, what have you. So you're going to want to make sure that you go through the proper channels. I will repeat, do not attempt to execute the steps in this guide, or at least the final steps in this guide, without having your compliance game plan in order, how you're going to publish your disclosures. You will need to be replying to every single review that you receive and publishing disclosures alongside them anywhere you publish or promote those reviews. And then finally, you will also need to be keeping a very robust and secure set of records, such that if the SEC ever comes knocking, or you ever need to share with them all of the advertisements and promotions that you've made using these reviews, you have them readily at hand. The core of the philosophy, what's really changed with the SEC's new marketing rule, is that solicitation and promotion of the review and testimonials that are provided on platforms like Google Business Profile is allowed. They even allow for compensation. Now, what happens is that the SEC defines any activity whereby you are promoting the reviews as an advertisement and requires that you meet specific regulatory requirements with all advertisements, such as keeping diligent and complete records of all of them. So what does that mean? If you run Google ads that have a testimonial or a review in them, don't lose those Google ads. Firms have gotten hit in the past for running those ads and then not being able to share the record of them with the SEC. So make sure you keep absolutely airtight digital records of everything. And to be clear, that means IT. That means ensuring that you have a business continuity and disaster recovery program in place. You've got automated backups, and or you are working with a digital marketing service provider that themselves has fantastic IT controls in place, and that ideally you also get a copy of all of those advertisements. So all of that is really critical to understand. And the deeper levels of this is we want to be really careful that we are not becoming entangled, so we're not influencing the reviews. And we also want to be really careful that we do not adopt third-party information that is inaccurate. So the SEC basically wants a firm like yours to be able to prove, if you promote your reviews and testimonials, that they are accurate. So that's the broad strokes. In this guide, I'm going to include a link to a few articles at the end from legal teams who deal with the compliance in much more detail. And so hopefully you can have some really fantastic and fruitful conversations at your firm to make sure that you're on the right track with the compliance. But I would advise, if you've been marketing online as a private wealth management firm or even as another type of RIA, you've been to this rodeo before. You've been publishing disclosures, you've gone through the hoops, and I would not allow this to dissuade you. This is a massive opportunity. You'll see more when I show you a little bit of the research. Basically, 99% of your industry has not got on to this yet. And Google Business Profile reviews in particular, the most commonly viewed reviews online, they're like scalable referrals. They'll work for your business day in and day out. They will help you leapfrog your competitors, set you up as an authority in the eyes of your prospective clients, and they'll even increase traditional referrals as other professional services providers feel more confident in referring folks to a well-reviewed firm. So don't let the compliance requirements dissuade you. Now, let's talk a little bit about Google reviews. They are the most valuable online for a small professional services firm. Read this section to understand a little bit more of the technicalities as to why we start with Google Business reviews, Google Business Profile reviews. As a side note, optimizing your Google Business Profile is another critical activity, and making sure that you do all of this together is key. So if you want to understand how to optimize your profile, feel free, book in for a strategy session with me. There's links on this page as well. We will be releasing guides for that as well in the short term. But to articulate why it feels often that you're, digital marketing with handcuffs on for your firm when you don't have a solid body of digital reviews, search engines are simply designed to show potential clientele things which please them so that the user comes back to the search engine again. And when a business does not have any reviews, the search engine can only think, well, it's not likely to please my users. And so a very common pitfall of professional services firms and advisories and private wealth management firms is that they will pay to advertise online in things like local Google ads. And many times those advertisements are displayed alongside a review. And so if you search, for best wealth management firm near me, many firms will pay to skip to the top of the list, but then they have few or poor reviews, and it's a bad look. So nailing the fundamentals means, yes, having advertisements in place, paid advertisements in place online, but also ensuring that inevitably when somebody is going to look at you and find your Google Business Profile review, that you come up looking like roses, and it lubricates, it reduces friction for folks along to the next step. So here's the guide. Follow these 12 steps. Like I said, where you start is going to be dependent upon where you are. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out at any time. There's screenshots here that show you everything that you need to know. Basically, what you will be doing is finding a link, this link here, and then you will be either emailing it or text messaging to your client book. Now, I do understand there are several concerns here. Many of the firms that we have worked with in the past say, we feel reluctant to do this because we service our clients in confidence, or our clients want to remain confident, anonymous. There is a way to do this. So again, don't let it dissuade you. This just means you need to come up with additional tactics to make sure that you can manage this. Do not be tempted to cherry pick and only ask a few of your best, most out there clients for reviews. This may be seen as entanglement from the SEC, and you want to avoid that. So you do want to be fair and blanketed across your client portfolio in terms of who you request reviews from. But you likely will want to consider that client confidentiality perspective. And again, if you'd like to talk through this, what we've had work with firms, client firms in the past of ours, feel free again, get in touch and we can chat through that. Additionally, a lot of firms are uncertain as to how to request this, what messaging, what type of templates to use when requesting the reviews. And again, if you'd like some of that information, feel free to get in touch. But if you walk through this and you get to number 12 and you promote the reviews, we do strongly believe that it's going to revolutionize your business. It'll feel like the training wheels have gotten taken off, the handcuffs are gone, the lead's out of your sneakers. And what we've found with clientele is like anywhere from 5x to 50x the online performance. And what you'll find is that you get access to a administrative panel in Google Business Profile, and you can see from GBP the calls it generates for your business, the website clicks, the inquiries, the interactions, and you will be astounded. Very often we've found that for clients at professional services firms, that 1/3 to 2/3 of the activities online, for folks interacting with their business are generated by the Google Business Profile. So it's like the number one online listing, incredibly important and incredibly fundamental. Next up, in terms of mastering the fundamentals, although Google Business Profile is absolutely fundamental and probably the most important, the advanced version of this is expanding to Facebook reviews, expanding to Yelp reviews, Glassdoor reviews, and a whole bunch of other body of reviews. And then in tandem with that, building out your listings. And so building out listings is incredibly important. And listings are just online locations where your business information is listed. And this is a massive pitfall of businesses, especially professional services firms trying to market online. So I'll show you a little bit of the research and some examples there. If you're curious, we are building out a suite of these guides and a whole bunch of digital tools, proprietary tools that we have for assessing your own grades, analyzing your competitors, improving your listings, your reviews, and a whole bunch of other things. So check out this here if you'd like to join the wait list. You'll be amongst the first to know when we release this suite of guides. And then, as mentioned, if you'd like a strategy session, feel free to claim a free 30-minute strategy session one-on-one with me. I promise, no sales folks. As you can tell, I'm a nerd, and we'll focus on pure strategy. So feel free to book one of those. Now, in the meantime, let's dive in a little bit to, as I mentioned, some of the analysis that we've performed. So here's that landing page for the strategy session. So you'll find a link there and you can learn a little bit more about it here. What we've been doing at Auxesis is we have been running a 15-factor analysis of private wealth management firms, true private wealth management firms with between 10 and 100 staff in major centers across the US. And what we found is that when consolidating those factors, nobody's getting a passing grade. And so if we look, for example, in Austin, one of the leaders in the US in private wealth management, the leader in that city has a 46% overall grade. They have an average 5-star review on Google, but only 6 of these reviews. The leaders in town have 30 or 23. And then these other fundamentals, domain authority, branding, listings, reviews, social media, website, ad, SEO, offers, client journey, website scores, trust signals, etc. You can see this board. It's painted yellow and red. And our proposition at Auxesis is that if a few firms in the States manage to get all of these fundamentals, and it's definitely possible to do so compliantly, if it's possible to get all those fundamentals up to a B or even an A across the board, the lion's share of the baby boomer tsunami, is likely going to go to those sorts of firms and to indirect competitors and substitutes like robo-advisories, apps, fintech, banks, financial giants. So That is absolutely the opportunity that is at hand here. And anybody who wants to absolutely leapfrog the local direct competition in their city, it's like within 6 months, getting up to a 70% is definitely possible. And you'll be like way out ahead of the leaders in your space if you're able to do something like that. So that's what our research has indicated here at Auxesis. And city by city, we basically see the same thing in major centers across the US. And then to give you a peek into like one of these areas, for example, a listings grade, this is so often the case with business, professional services firms. Here's the leader in Dallas. Here's their business information across a large variety of reputable business listing locations. And we can see it's missing from a great many of these. They've got an A, but the power of their marketing is basically constricted because their business information is not accurately listed consistently in a bunch of these places. So we see the orange, their name is spelled differently some places, their address is different, their phone number formats are all over the place. And this matters. Why? Because machines, again, they use heuristics and proxies to gauge reputability and the likelihood that a business will please an individual. And one of those keys is known in my industry, digital marketing, as NAP or an NAPW, name, address, phone number, website. So if Google looks across the web for your business info, and this is what Google as a search engine does, and it finds it listed in only a few reputable locations, and the name is a bit different, and the address is a bit different, and the phone number is a little bit different, your firm gets punished in the rankings. And so the fundamentals, and this is obviously a compliant thing to do, you can get your business information accurate and consistent in a large number of places. For firms that just get this simple fundamental in place, all of a sudden, the engine starts firing, the gunk is removed, the pistons start to become lubricated. And this is what we mean by unclogging your pipeline. And so what's most common for us when we work with professional services firms, and especially private wealth management, is they're doing things like posting stream articles, subscribing to advisor directories, doing wild ad campaigns, or paying for lead gen and appointment setters, or trying to do webinars, but they don't even have their business information listed correctly, and they've got 0 or few reviews. So for us at Auxesis, it's all about the fundamentals, which are very similar to the fundamentals in your industry. Come up with a long-term plan for the future, make sure it includes the comprehensive fundamentals, respond to the market with equanimity, stop looking for silver bullets and wild schemes, and just be resolute and principles-based, and make sure that your marketing aligns with your values, just like you usually probably advise your clients to make sure that their money also aligns with their values. So I hope you found something useful here today. And as mentioned, like I said, if you're looking to chat, scroll down to the bottom of this guide and you'll be able to claim a free strategy session. We'll be making 5 of these available per city. Have a great day and good luck.